Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for being here, and thanks to the ROCCO team for allowing me to be here. I didn't know there was a city called Malaga until this event, and thank God because of that I'm here. Beautiful city, peaceful. My story is I might get emotional, so please bear with me. I'm a very emotional person. I'm going to skip a lot. I'm from Malawi. Grew up in Malawi for 6 years, then moved into Zimbabwe for my primary and secondary school. Then I went to Kenya for my first and second degree. How I got into telecoms, I was doing attachment at a church, and Pastor Bina says he would want to preach the gospel in different ways other than the traditional ways that people are using. So I started researching on methods of communication. That is how I ended up in telecoms. Then I saw there is something here. Let me spend more time on it. Then after I graduated, I tried to look for a job. I went into a lot of fights with my dad. He would bring me job applications. I told him, no, I'm not going. I don't want a job. He would send PSs to talk to me. I told him, I don't want a job. He tried to tell my mother to talk to me. I said, I don't want a job. And I'd spend nights in my room trying to figure out how I can get a platform. I talked to these people. I talked to some people. They tell me $10,000. I talk to other people. They tell me they need $50,000. At that point, I had nothing to my name. I decided to talk to some owner of a bank in Malawi. He told me, what you're looking for doesn't make sense. I'd love to help you, but it doesn't make sense. So I went into debt, because that was the only place I could get a source of be able to start. And I didn't have the expertise in telecoms. And because of that, I remember our first server was on GoDaddy. We connected to TNM, which was our first customer and the first operator we ever connected with. And after that, we needed to connect to Airtel. We didn't know we needed a firewall to be able to connect to two operators. And fortunately, TNM allowed us to do a direct internet connection. We spent weeks until we talked to somebody and they told me, no, you need a firewall to be able to connect to more than two operators. And in 2011, I took the bold move to register Click Mobile. And I remember our first employee is here. It was Effie Lekera. We worked together for over 3-4 years. And that was my office, and that was my first laptop. She went 6 months at some point without salaries, but she still showed up. And it's something I don't take for granted up to today. It's not been easy. You're receiving an email from an operator telling you we're disconnecting you because you've not paid your invoices. And then somebody's telling you we've got traffic worth this much and we'll be paying you at the end of the month. And the telco you're supposed to connect to is disconnecting. Those are the challenges that we faced. So I went into debt. I remember at some point, I'd come home late, stay in the bar. I don't drink because I'm trying to avoid people that I owe. I remember also in several occasions whereby I would get to a conference and you're meeting, everybody's talking about how they've made $10 million, $5 million. And you're asking yourself, how am I going to fit in this conversation? Because I don't feel like I'm relevant. You feel like you're the only, sometimes the events I'd attend, I'm the only black person there. And I'm like, how will I make it? Everybody has got this experience from a telco, from certain backgrounds. But I met people that made the journey easier. David Vega is here, believed in us. First person to give us a prepayment of 50,000 euros. I couldn't believe it. Prepayment. Every time, before we get a prepayment, people would ask us for audited accounts. We didn't have audited accounts. They would ask us for our structure. We didn't have a structure, but he believed in us and we worked so well. And that was the beginning of everything. We met then I met Tony Daubel from Infobip. He was working with Infobip then. Believed in us, gave us a lot of projects. I met Yusuf Wahid, who said, I know you can do this. They believed in us. I remember our first platform used to, every time I land, I have to restart it. I literally would go to soccer with my laptop because as long as the traffic shoots over a certain threshold, it would fold out. I have to restart it. So I was accounts, I was tech, I was accounts manager, I was literally everything in the company. But slowly we started improving, adding more people to the team, and God started answering our prayers. And this was this was me in the office. And by the way, we were kicked out of this office because of rent. At some point, our water bill was disconnected. So those are some of the challenges we faced. And that is Effie. And then the team got bigger. That's the team from Malawi. Then it got bigger. We have guys from Ghana, from Kenya, Zimbabwe. And now this is the whole team. And we have a platform that we built on our own with partnership with a company called Marriott Technologies. We've learned so much. We're building a video on demand platform. And I just want to speak to an African child somewhere sitting who feels like it's not possible. It's possible, it can be done.